Diamonds on my wrist when I step up on a diamond, 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 diamonds on my wrist when I step up on a
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. We are back home in studio. As you guys can see, that Florida road trip and being out there, man, Florida is everything that I had hoped it would be, and then some. It's not every day you get to see a jacked up F-250 diesel in a rev battle with a Lamborghini at a stoplight. So that's why, one of the many reasons why I absolutely love Florida. But hey, we are here. Steven, what's up? Yeah, we could possibly come by. You need roadside? We could send it down there and help you fix that flat on the truck there. Before we jump in, as always, you guys, this show is brought to you by my friends over at VHub. They're the ones who make all of this stuff possible every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central. And what we got right now, as you can see, we got some repositionings available here for you, and we got a new one. So, we got the one coming up out of here, out of Chicago, going into Toronto, and then you can actually get reloaded in the Toronto area and go down to the Dallas area. So think about that. That's miles, that's repositionings, that's extra money in your pocket. As you can see, you get money to reposition all of these trailers and, get them up and running. Also, we have those one-way rentals going up into Canada, out of Utah, out of the Salt Lake City area, Paragould, Arkansas, as well as Glade Spring, Virginia, and you get $18.50 US to do that. So again, check all of that stuff out, you guys. And then we got the ones down in San Diego as well. As you can see, going across the ticker on the bottom, there's San Diego going up to Spokane, Washington, and you get paid to do that as well. So I got a very special guest. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. VHubApp.com. Hit up my man, Xavier Campos. He'll be in the comments. He'll be in the audience here a little bit later. I got a very special guest for you guys. This guy means no introduction. He's dapper. It's Monday morning. It's Kyle Lintner back in the house. Kyle, what's going on?
What is going on, my man? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm just fucking so excited to be back home. It's, work travel is one thing, but like when you're not at your house and like, I'm such a fucking creature of habit, Kyle, like not having my studio, not having my mic, not like, it just drove me nuts.
Not sleeping in your own bed.
Yeah. Not sleeping in your own bed. You're at a resort where there's kids running. First world problem. There's kids running around everywhere. It is what it is. How's everything going, man?
It's going all right. I think the sun's going to come out today, so maybe it'll be okay here in Chicago. It's been a long time since we've had the sun. We're at a day above 75, but it's coming. Tomorrow's going to be 1,000,000 degrees, so we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't even get below 75 degrees out here in Arizona right now. It was 93 this morning when I woke up, and yeah.
And you get up at like 4:30.
I know, 3:45, but yeah, I'm out the door by 4:30, by 4:15. Oh man, Xavier, good morning, sir. Sunny, good morning. Samantha Bass, good morning. LinkedIn user, good morning, all. It just doesn't show up on my end. Yeah, as you know, we're up to day 46 of the Freight Coach Tally about there being truck parking issues as well as facilities issues. And as always, you guys, I will stop talking about it when drivers stop sending me pictures. I actually did get one from my friend Matt Laird. He said that there was a facility out there that actually had a driver lounge out there. So got to give credit where credit is due, you guys. Again, this isn't everybody, but at the end of the day, there's the majority of these things that are going on, and we're not going to stop talking about that.
What if the demand for facilities was so high that these locations that had the driver's lounge and like a driver's bathroom, the drivers were willing to take a cheaper rate to go into them? Suddenly every single location would have it, right?
Oh yeah. That would be a thing. Yeah. Like hands down, that would be a thing. Also diesel as of this morning, because it hasn't been updated yet, it's still at $5.70 a gallon, which is fucking insane. $2.43 year over year a gallon. That new chart is released this afternoon. So again, I get all that information from EIA.gov. And, again, I got a shameless plug to my friends over at Trucker Tools, like on their app, which is free to drivers. You can put your lanes in there and it pulls up fuel stops. All right. It pulls up the fuel on the route and helps you make better buying decisions, because like right now, more than ever, We just need people to stay in business. All right. And this helps out with that. Fuel is going to be a massive expense coming up here. I mean, you were talking here before we jumped on what BMO release. What was that? Like less than $1 million or something like that?
$1 million Canadian dollars, 780,000 United States. The April was the smallest write down on record for asset purchases through BMO Harris, which is one of the largest asset lenders in transportation. So the wave of the small owner op or small fleet bankruptcies or foreclosures or even skipping payments on the equipment just hasn't happened yet.
And that's what that means when you say that means like that 780,000
write down number. Yeah,
if you write down is
the bank saying we're not. Yep, exactly. It's like if you took the loan out on your car and you stopped paying it and you disappeared and they weren't able to repo it, the bank writes it off as a loss.
Gotcha. Ali, good morning. Happy Monday. It is definitely a happy Monday. I fucking love Mondays. I'm one of those sick motherfuckers.
You are sick.
I am. So, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the market as always. Like that doesn't change. So it's like, rest assured people, the market is the market and it's going to continue to operate in this capacity. But I got a very good article for us to lead off with here. Stacy, good morning. And what is from GeekWire? This one kind of caught me by surprise. I saw this. It got released on this was back on Thursday, but I wanted to save this one because frankly, I didn't notice it because it was Thursday night and I had my article set for Friday. And, being the creature of habit I am, I don't like fucking last second change. But it was about Convoy, which just raised $260 million. They laid off 7% of their workforce in the latest tech startup cuts. This is from geekwire.com is where I got this article. And then, a spokesperson said that they confirmed the layoffs and said it employed 1,300 people in April when it raised $260 million at a $3.8 billion valuation. So the cuts affected around 90 employees. We've made a number of organizational and other operating expense related changes to ensure we are in the strongest financial positions possible ahead of potential for worsening economic decisions. A bevy of tech startups have laid off employees and larger giants are slowing or halting hiring altogether, with a number of macroeconomic conditions, including rising inflation, causing concern for companies across sectors. Venture capitalists are advising tech companies to cut expenses and extend their cash runways. Even unicorn startups, those valued at above 1 billion, are not immune to market forces, including companies that have raised huge swaths of cash, such as Convoy. I know it is a good word usage. What are your thoughts on? Like, I think so. Like when you see 7% and then you see 90, I think so. Like my initial thoughts were this: people aren't going to want to hear this, but the last couple of years, salaries have been overly inflated. All right, let's call it what it is. Now, remove inflation and the cost of goods right now. But people who had like 2 years experience were getting $80,000, $90,000 base salaries. Like, what did people think was going to happen when like this is big business to its core?
Yep.
Whether it's morally right or wrong is irrelevant, but business, like when you're funded, because that's what a lot of these companies are. They have venture capitalists throwing hundreds of millions of dollars. The company doesn't call the shots. The VC funds who are giving them all this money tell them, this is what you fucking are going to do.
Yeah, you're 100% right. When you get to the level they're at, anyone who's invested serious money inside of that company has at least one seat on the board, and the board makes recommendations that management essentially has to follow. I'll say one thing in addition to everything you just said, which I agree to. This is another reason why I cannot stand when we push a narrative in the industry, whether that narrative is true or not. When we just think of one mind and one mind only, we allow companies to start putting things out there under the vein of we are being cautious because of what is to come. So they're preemptively reducing headcount because of what might happen. And that's fine. Some companies would rather be proactive than reactive. But what this is really about, it isn't about their concern for what's coming in the future. This is about those investment companies saying, we want something from all of the money we've given you, Convoy.
Yep.
You need to get on the path to profitability. And an easy way to do that is start to reduce headcount, because that's usually one of the biggest expenses, if not the largest, at a company like Convoy. And like you said, there's a lot of fat to trim, considering in order to meet the demand that was out there inside of the market, everyone had to go out and hurry up and hire. And the easiest way to get employees in the door is to put a really big number to get them to walk into it. So now, how do you get rid of those employees? Well, you just fire them. And it doesn't look really good if you say business sucks, right? We're going to fire them because we're losing lows or rates are down or anything that would be associated with, we are concerned about the future. You don't want to admit. Instead, you just say we're being protective and we want to get out ahead of this. But the real reason is they just want to start to make money.
No, absolutely.
And they can't say that either, right? They don't want to say, hey, we don't make money. That's the one thing Convoy doesn't want to tell you. We are unprofitable.
Yeah. And here's the official from their spokesman. We've made a number of organizational and other operating expense related changes to ensure we are in the strongest financial position possible ahead for the potential of worsening economic conditions. As a result of these changes, we are sad to have to say that goodbye. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. As a result of these changes, we were sad to have to say goodbye to approximately 7% of Convoy's workforce today. This decision was not easy nor taken lightly. With our recent fundraise behind us and our continued intrinsic strength of our business, we look forward to continuing to disrupt the freight industry for the betterment of truck drivers, shippers, and the planet. Whatever market conditions we encounter along the way, we will be opening up our networks to support departing staff in their efforts to secure new roles. Here's the thing. If these were 90 people in the Seattle market alone, I'm assuming they were $100,000+ a year salaries. So for rough public education math, which I have, 90 employees, $100,000 a year, $9 million. That's what they just saved right there. And that was off of that. And then furthermore, it doesn't, like, here's another thing either. When you see that there was layoffs, were these people fucking bad employees? Because that's not talked about either. It's the optics of it that are terrible, because like, I don't have their Ray's article in front of me, but I don't have that but I don't know if they had said, hey, we're looking to expand our workforce. So again, I'm just reacting to this article.
Well, everyone sees that number anyway, right? You see the investment round, you say that doesn't make sense. You just got all this money, and they also got a $150 million line of credit at a pure revolver. So between the two, you say, well, that doesn't make any sense. You just got all this cash. Why are you firing people?
Yeah.
It's because the people that gave you all that cash said, now I want something in return.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And yeah, Sonny, I'm not arguing. Like, it is bullshit. Like, I'm not saying that it's not bullshit by any stretch of the imagination, because
we don't even know who they were too. It could be really, really dirty. And these could be people that had equity in the company. And now you've also sweetened the pot for the investment people, because you are returning more to them down the road.
I was literally just thinking about that when you said that. Maybe these were some of the early people who had the most to gain from the IPO or whatever they're going to be doing here in the next year or so.
It happens.
And no, exactly. Like, dude, I've been in that position. I've had to fire some of my highest earning sales reps because they made too much money. That's just the way. Like, I'm a capitalist at heart, but I believe in responsible capitalism. But that's just the good and the bad of the free market is, and it's furthermore, like, to my point, when I bring up all the time, Kyle, of there is nothing secure about working for anybody. That's what I mean by that, is it's like, you could literally be the highest performing rep out there. And again, the leadership at Convoy doesn't call the shots. The fucking VCs that have given them hundreds of millions of dollars, no one will come out and say it, but that's the truth.
Yep.
Yes, Sonny, I would agree with that. Even though their colors are orange, they are not in the orange shirt gang at all. But yeah, hey, at least we didn't see anybody like at least Dan Lewis, their CEO, wasn't posted a picture in a private jet recently and then fucking lay off 90 people, because the optics of that are never good. I'm sure it was
too.
Yeah, I know. You got to look out for that. Hey, share a hotel room, but we're going to post pictures in private jets. That was from geekwire.com. You guys, Convoy talking about how they're raised and lays off 7% of the workforce. Again, ethical or not, it's bound to happen, because when you're VC and backed, those guys don't just give you hundreds of millions of dollars and not expect money in return. So that was a good one, though. I again, it's like, I see both sides of it. But yeah. It was surprising. It truly was. But, you know, that's also just the fucking realities of life. You know, all of those people out there can take it one way. They can give up or they can dig their heels down and start a competitor and, you know, build something that everything that they didn't like about that company, they can build a competitor.
Right. You know, if we read between the lines on that too, some people might want to knee jerk and say that these were employees that weren't necessary to move forward.
Yeah.
Maybe they were the older school approach for anything at Convoy that isn't done automatically or digitally. This was the more traditional style of covering some business. If that were the case, you know, 100% Convoy would have said that was the reason.
Yeah.
These positions have become redundant. Our efficiencies allow us to remove them. We are now operating more optimally and all of that jazz. And that's not what they said. So for all we know, these were heads of departments, software engineers, whatever it may be. This was the culling of the herd. Everybody in each department had to give back something. We don't know who they were.
That's why I hate like PC culture. Like just fucking, I would have so much more respect if people just came out and told it how it was. Hey, you guys were costing us too much money. Your roles are redundant and we have fucking money to make. So see you later. Whether it's right or wrong is irrelevant here, you guys. Again, it's just This next article is one that is I'm really looking forward to talking about here. This one was from FreightWaves, and it was the FMCSA revising guidance on freight brokers and agents. So this one, this one goes on, is moving closer to settling a controversy over how to define freight brokers while also clarifying the level of financial penalties for unauthorized brokerages. Yeah, but the problem with that unauthorized, like those motherfuckers are going to reincarnate no matter what. I think that's like treating the symptom. That's just like finding, like at what, like with the people who have multiple offenses of fucking drunk driving. At what point do you just fucking lock them up, you know, and then save society or save themselves from society? But I think like right there, like again, there needs to, the root cause is how easy it is to fucking reincarnate a company in this industry. That's the real problem. So if I was the FMCSA, which I'm not by any means, but I view it like this. If you want to minimize it, raise the bar of entry in here. And now brokers, you're not going to like to hear this if you don't have insurance. I think every freight brokerage, as well as these dispatch companies that are out there, need to be bonded and need to be insured, because this severely, I can't say severely, but this reduces the fly-by-night operations when you have to show realistic documentation that can be verified.
No, it's severely.
Yeah. Okay.
It goes on in every other industry way. Even if we don't make it, even if the barrier of entry is not drastically increased financially, let's just do it to find out who's pulling the strings. Who is it that's behind the company, right? Because like you're saying, some of these people, they start a company, it's a total scam, and then 3 months later, it's a new company. Yeah. And anyone who's read the news in California, particularly LA, knows what goes on out there far too often. It doesn't take that much, right? But this is one of the other issues in freight, because we don't have any sort of central clearinghouse or organization or anything that dictates control throughout the entire industry. Not to mention, there's 3 different categories of people that are participating. Because we don't have any governing body, it's really hard to get any of this stuff going. And everything they said in there, a lot of the stuff I wasn't aware of, which on one hand I feel bad about, but on the other hand I almost don't, because who the hell would tell me anyway? I'm all for any of this stuff, anything that pushes the unsavory aspects of some of these people out. Yes, everything. Let's get some push towards having things better scrutinized, more organized, and well informed on who the hell is doing what.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought this is a very well-written piece. Again, I give credit where credit is due. Over the past decade, the FMCSA has received numerous inquiries and several petitions related to the definition of a broker. Part of the problem is that there are differences in the definition of broker in different sections of federal regulations. Again, remove all the fucking government red tape and let's just call it what it is. In addition, because of the responsibility of truck brokers and freight dispatchers sometimes overlap, there is a question to whether a dispatch service is acting as a licensed broker without proper authority. I think that is exactly what most dispatch services are. Yeah. If they're not bonded, at least bonded, like, because again, if a broker because they're making money off of this.
Yeah.
Like they're charging 5%, 6% or whatever to the trucking companies. Why are they not fiscally liable under any circumstances by the FMCSA
Right.
if they're out there booking something and then say they're not doing their due diligence for that trucking company? That trucking company has a lapse in insurance, but they're doing one thing or another. Again, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but the reality is real shit happens. Then here's one conversation I've had with multiple dispatch services out there. Oh, hey, that MC is not working here. Try this MC. What about this MC? Oh, they're cousins. If they are not listed on the policy, if they are not listed on as an operating authority underneath the certificate of insurance, if they are not listed on that, they are not part of that. You cannot just fucking grant authority to somebody because my fucking brother has a trucking company. That's not the way it works.
Right.
So again, a good way to sniff a lot of that bullshit out, you guys, is hang up the phone instantly, because that's not going to end well. But again, say that happens. Say that trucking company now doesn't have insurance. The broker doesn't have insurance. That truck gets stolen for whatever reason. That dispatch service's phone's not going to work instantly. The broker out there might only be bonded. So therefore, you're not fucking covered as much as you think you are in that situation. That's why you need to have insurance. And then furthermore, the customers, somebody's paying for that freight. And again, I want the same standards. If you are involved in that freight transaction, if you are identifying yourself as a representative to accept and like buy and sell freight under any capacity, you should be bonded and you should be insured. I would like to see the standard raised across the board, because again, it's like, yeah, say for hypothetically speaking, again, public school education, it's $1,000 a month for cargo insurance as a broker. That covers you if there's a $100,000 fucking claim. All right. I would want that as a business owner. I would want adequate and ample coverage for everything.
Agreed. A lot of shippers require that, and they have their own levels and standards. I think the problems are when they don't require it, and then some of these unsavory aspects or people start to come out.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And let's just get rid of it, because the problem is then, like what you're getting at, then some poor carrier gets stuck with this because some shithead broker doesn't have everything lined up correctly, and they're the ones holding the bag on this, while the other guy just leaves and starts up a new company with a fake MC. And
that's, long story short, everything I'm saying right there. Yeah. I want to see the standards raised to operate in this industry. I think that's, because again, rule breakers are going to break the rules. It doesn't matter if you put speed limiters, no matter what, somebody's going to break the fucking rules. All right. That just is what it is. But we got to work around ways to help improve this industry.
Yep. So much of it's built on trust, right?
Exactly. So again, I would check that article out and look into that as well. I know the TIA, which I'm a member of the TIA, and I would highly advocate, if you're a broker, to join the fucking TIA. I know that they are very active in this on Capitol Hill to have this same level playing field across the board. So again, that article was from FreightWaves, FMCSA revising guidance on freight brokers and agents. Last article from FreightWaves again. This one, why everyone is freaking out about Target. Target is like, it doesn't matter which, apparently Target just doesn't know how to do anything because everything they say right now, whether good, bad, or indifferent, is just fucking torn apart.
Yeah.
And then they go on to say, overstocking at Target, Walmart, Amazon, and other big retailers are the latest unexpected red flag for what's happening in our economy. It's an about face from the beginning of 2022 when things were economically pretty peachy, too peachy, one could agree. People were buying so much stuff that our ports and terminals could barely handle the massive import in volumes. Companies were desperate for anyone to come and work for them. Sorry, I'm reading this as a romance novel. And movie theaters, offices, planes, and other locales, many askew during the pandemic, were poised to bounce back. The Omicron wave appeared mild compared to previous bouts with the coronavirus. The vibes were good. Now the vibes are completely terrible.
It's a very dramatic article.
I know, it was a very dramatic article, a very long article, and I'm not going to read literally every sentence from this one. Again, as always, you guys read these articles yourself, formulate your own opinion. I'm just putting out what my opinion is based on this. And I think what you're seeing, and again, I've talked about this frequently, I think with the massive doubts that were of 2020 and 2021, it forced purchasers into unseen territory in the sense of let's overbuy on stuff. Let's pre-order it. Let's get ahead of it. And let's just have stuff. Because again, as a retailer, you got to have product to sell or else you're going to fuck. I think, again, I've never been a retailer. I would rather have too much inventory than no inventory at all. I think that is probably pretty safe to say. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I may or may not have spoken to some of those companies that you just listed. And
yeah,
none of this is news. All of this is what they said they were going to do. We're moving away from just in time to just in case. We would rather have more stuff sit on shelves versus not have anything on the shelves. Because if you don't have product, you can't make any money. This is where perception becomes reality. Yes, this was already out there. Yes, this was already known. But because the equity market is pulling back from highs, you're looking for reasons to ditch something. And then this comes out that they miss earnings and they give guidance on future margins. And they point to something like excess inventories. Their stock gets hammered. And then I don't want to speak in absolutes and say that everybody is talking or everybody is freaking out. But people point to it as possibly, look, this is the second largest retailer. This could be a problem. What isn't spoken in this article or often enough is that there are a lot of people who believe it isn't a slowing of consumer sales. It is a shifting of consumer sales, and it's what they are buying. A lot of what happened at Target is that there's only so many home gyms and home desks that people are going to buy, and the number is 1. Don't load up on that, and that's what they got caught doing. And that's now a pain in the ass to store because it's big and bulky versus the other stuff. And this is a really weird thing I'm going to throw out there, but this is an area where the higher the price of fuel goes, as much as that sounds terrible to freight, it could actually be a benefactor for freight in the sense that if gasoline prices are going to be this high, the family vacations are going to be trimmed. Families just aren't going to go anywhere because you can't fly. And now if the price to drive costs this exorbitant amount, they're going to stay home, and then that leaves some cash in hand to purchase more stuff. I'm not saying that this is happening.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's definitely a very real possibility that this does happen because it is already known from all the surveys that have been put out there that the summer vacations are either being cut short or cut completely.
Yeah.
Americans have a hard time saving, so we know what's going to happen with those monies.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And it says the demand for random crap suddenly vanished. It was one of the sub headlines, taking everyone by. I don't think it fucking surprised anybody that you shift your, because it's like, I mean, for example, right now, my truck costs now $120 to fill up, and it used to be $70 to fill up. So that's an extra $50. Now, again, if you look at that, fortunately, I'm in a position to where the extra $50, I barely drive, so it's like that isn't like that. But for those people who commute every single day and they're filling up multiple times a week, that extra $400 or $500 a month that they're now spending just to get to their job isn't going to go to going out to eat anymore, or maybe purchasing that new, we'll call them, I don't even know how to fucking word this, but like the add-on expenses of like, hey, we want to buy new lawn furniture this summer or a new grill or whatever. Like they're not looking at that right now. And I think that this it shouldn't have taken anyone by surprise when you see the costs of goods increase as fast as they have on a consumer level over the last 6 months. You know what I mean? I think, but like to your point, these large retailers, this isn't a mistake by them. All right. Because at the end of the day, they could reduce it. Say the TV was $700. Yeah. They're going to price it at a point to where, yeah, their profit margin and they're like, that's going to be decreased on it, but they're still going to make money. They're going to take a short-term hit on it. And I think there's too many people who talk about this shit who just think that you fucking make money 24/7, 360. It's a constant upslope of revenue. That's not the fucking way it works. Like there's going to be ebbs and flows of this. And you're going to see it, and then there's going to be a correction, and then it's going to slowly start to take off again, and then there's going to be a correction. That's just the fucking way that the economy works.
It's the way that every market works. That's something I tried to point out this morning on LinkedIn is that we never go from straight up to straight down, or we never go from a trending market in one direction to the trending market in the opposite direction. There's periods of turnover and transition. And in those periods of turnover and transition, we get mixed signals like we have right now. And that's, be it freight, equity markets, the general economy. Everyone can make an argument for whatever case they want right now. And that's what happens in periods of transition.
Yeah.
What we don't know is what happens when we come out of this, because when you exit that period, it's either a return of the previous trend or it's a reversal of it. And I don't know the answer of that. And I would say to be careful of anyone who tells you they do.
Yeah. I think now more than, again, that one was from FreightWaves, Target inventory. Why everyone is freaking out about Target's inventory. Again, read your own, read these. I put all these article links out there. Read these articles yourselves, formulate your own opinions on this. But again, the fact of the matter is, you guys, is no matter what, freight is going to move, and you have to provide a solution to your shippers or your customers, or you're not going to have any. You know, there's two types of people that are going to make it right now. Or, you know, there's two possible scenarios here. You can show up and find a solution, or you can just give up. I will never advocate for anybody to sell their business under any fucking circumstances. All right. Because there is no perfect plan for this. All right. There is no perfect solution. There's no fucking playbook. Not everybody gets millions of dollars from their family to go into business. You know, a lot of us have to figure shit out on the fly. And there is a solution for you to make it work in this market. There is going to be some uncertainty that is coming up out here. Very real things can happen, but there are fucking solutions. And you need to develop if you don't have a business plan right now, please develop a business plan. Know your costs, know your break-even points, know your profit margins as well, because we all want you to be profitable. Because as a broker, you have no product without trucks. Just fucking throwing that out there. You don't have a product if you don't have trucks. So, I mean, I know we're kind of a couple minutes over, but, you know, frankly, it's my show. I don't give a fuck. We'll go as long as we want. What do you have for some advice for people right now with the current market? What do we do?
Everything you just said. There's always a solution. Just find it. And if you don't have a business plan, put the phone down, shut your computer, stop doing whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
You should have been in business without one to begin with, but it does happen. So you are correct in saying that. But that's the thing. Have your plan, stick to your plan, whatever it is, broker, carrier, even if you're a shipper and you're watching the show, Tony Darnell. Know what you're doing and know what your outs are when things start to go awry so that you can go to those. There's always the fix. You just need to work at it. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Honest Bollock, he's out there. As a carrier and a broker, you should be able to tell who's legit and who isn't. Use Carrier 411 as a broker to see if your freight cards probably shouldn't book. And Honest is a legitimate family-owned 50 truck operation out of Denver, Colorado. You guys need to book up with them as well. They have, I believe there's high cube dry vans amongst other stuff as well, but reach out to him. You guys, those are the people. Like, we go live every day to keep BTI, Honest's company, in business. All right. Just like every one of you out here, I could, you know, again, just like for the majority of the content that I put out and have put out, I could easily talk about the negatives. All right. I could easily do that and go down that fucking route and then post how my vanity metrics are through the roof because we only talk about doom and gloom, because that's an easy sell. We're here to fucking provide solutions, you guys. I'm here to keep you guys in business and work with you and bring very smart people on this show who actually operate in this industry and who've seen these markets before, so we can collectively fix this shit. All right. And we can collectively work together. So, you know, with that being said, that's it for today. We'll be live again tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in freight. I'll be making a big announcement here this week that I think all of you are going to fucking love. Yeah, I know. I'm going to love about it as much as Kyle's top 2 buttons being undone there. But that's it for today. The video replay available on YouTube. Audio only will be available on the podcast. Again, share this out, you guys. If you see value in this, share it out. That's all I can ask. I appreciate you guys all so much, and we'll be talking.